What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former four division Mexican superstar world champion boxer Mikey Garcia weighs in on the possible mega showdown between eight division former world champion, Filipino superstar, legendary boxer, currently the WBA welterweight world champion, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, and former three division world champion, former undisputed junior welterweight world champion, and currently widely recognized as the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford, right? Mikey Garcia stated that he was informed that he will not be getting the fight between himself and Manny Pacquiao, right? And then asked to break down the fight between Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Obviously, it looks like the Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford are on the verge of fighting. Thus, the reason why Mikey Garcia is not going to land the fight, right? Mikey Garcia was in hopes that he got the fight. It would be a mega payday. Mikey Garcia said that he was eager and he was hungry and driven to prove that he belonged and could be a five-division world champion at welterweight division. He challenged undefeated, unified WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Terence Bud Crawford. Errol the True Spence Jr. And he came up short, to say the least. He lost every single round in that fight, right? And so with that said, he dared to be great. Some people said he moved up two weight classes. I'm not of the belief he moved up two weight classes because three out of his last four fights before the Errol Spence fight was at 140 pounds. He even won a world title at 140 pounds. He fought a high-profile fight against Adrian the Problem Broner at 140 pounds, right? So he moved up one weight class to 147. After junior welterweight, after 140, then you have 147. With that said, when asked about how the fight, he believed the fight will play out between Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. He simply said that Manny Pacquiao is going to destroy Terence Crawford. He says that basically Terence Crawford don't stand a chance to win the fight, right? He says that the boxing world is going to get a surprise, in other words, right? And that Manny Pacquiao is highly skilled and still has the legendary boxing set that he had 5-10 years ago, right? We know Manny Pacquiao defeated Adrian Broner. Then he defeated former unified, undefeated welterweight WBA and WBC world champion Keith one-time Thurman in dramatic fashion. It seemed like he turned back the hands of time, right? He turned back the clocks. So Mikey Garcia is of the belief that Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Terence Crawford, and he's expecting for Manny Pacquiao to put on a show against Terence Crawford. I have to disagree with Mikey Garcia, and I feel like there's obviously some tension between himself and Terence Crawford. They fought in the amateurs, and Terence Crawford beat him in the amateurs. Mikey Garcia stated the reason Terence Crawford beat him in the amateurs was that styles make fights, and he's just not an exciting fighter. He runs, right? He utilized the ring far too much, and he ran. And so when they both were campaigning in and around the same weight class, Mikey Garcia was at 135, Terence Crawford is at 140, and people wanted to see this fight. The boxing world was clamoring to see Mikey Garcia versus Terence Crawford. And Mikey Garcia went around that fight, right? And he said that he didn't want to fight Terence Crawford because he wasn't in favor of Terence Crawford's style and it would be a boring fight, right? Well, Mikey Garcia, it's up to Mikey Garcia to make it a not boring fight. It's up to Mikey Garcia to be able to cut the ring off on Terence Crawford and be able to do what he need to do. If Terence Crawford and Mikey Garcia felt that Manny Pacquiao is just going to walk through Terence Crawford, and he liked his chances against Manny Pacquiao, then that means that indirectly he likes his chances against Terence Crawford, right? And he feel like he would be successful against Terence Crawford because obviously Mikey Garcia as a competitor feels like he could beat Manny Pacquiao, and he was clamoring for that fight. He even stated that that was his best, chance to become a world champion in the 5th division, because Manny Pacquiao is more on his size in his size range, in the category with him as far as size go. That's when he started to begin to say that Errol Spence's size was just too much for him. But prior to that, he stated that it had nothing to do with Errol Spence's size and everything to do with Errol Spence's skill set. Well, now he's saying that, he said that Errol Spence at one point in time, Mikey Garcia stated that, Errol Spence was always one step ahead of him. Errol Spence outboxed Mikey Garcia. He never used his size to defeat Mikey Garcia. He just outboxed Mikey Garcia. But now Mikey Garcia was admitting of that, right? Now Mikey Garcia is saying that, he believes that it was the size difference, right? Okay, well, if that's the case, and you feel like you like your chances against Manny Pacquiao because the size is still in your favor, then you would like your chances against Terence Crawford as well, because Terence Crawford was only 5 pounds north of you when you fought, right? And Mikey Garcia wasn't willing to make the fight because of Terence Crawford's style. But if it's a guy that's your size, then you should be able to adjust to his style, make the adjustments, and be able to offset that of what Terence Crawford is doing or does, right? I told people that the reason that Mikey Garcia wasn't in favor or never in favor of fighting Terence Crawford is simply because there is no excuse he can make for fighting Terence Crawford and losing to Terence Crawford and run the risk of being badly outclassed by Terence Crawford and possibly being stopped by Terence Crawford, right? See, he can't use the size as an excuse as to why he lost, like he's starting to do with Errol Spence. Losing to Manny Pacquiao, it says, oh, well, Manny Pacquiao is a legend. It's expected. You understand? So losing to Manny Pacquiao, right, gets overlooked, right? It'll get swept under the rug. Well, that's Manny Pacquiao. He's an 8th division world champion. He's a legend in the game. There's no, you don't lose any sleep losing to Manny Pacquiao, right? There's no shame in losing to Manny Pacquiao. It's just like losing to Floyd Mayweather. There's no shame in losing to Floyd Mayweather. You understand? It's just like Canelo Alvarez lost to Floyd Mayweather, and it seems as if he never lost, right? It just gets overlooked. It gets swept under the rug. You understand? It's just like Andre Ward defeated Sergey Kovalev. When Canelo Alvarez beat Sergey Kovalev, it's like Andre Ward never did it. You understand? It's like they praise Canelo Alvarez as if Sergey Kovalev never lost to Andre Ward twice, right? And it's like, because you expected to lose to Andre Ward, who retired undefeated, you expected to lose to Floyd Mayweather, who retired undefeated, and to a degree you expected to lose to Manny Pacquiao, right? So Mikey Garcia is in a win-win situation against Manny Pacquiao. I told everybody that he was in a win-win situation against Errol Spence as well. He's not in a win-win situation when it comes to Terence Crawford. And clearly, they're in and around the same, they're campaigning very close to one another, right? But yet this fight never seems to get over the finish line. And we understand that Mikey Garcia had, a ugly, separation with top-ranked legendary promoter Bob Arum and CEO, right? So that could be a sticking point. That could be a hurdle if he don't want to do business. But he talked about doing other fights with other top-ranked guys, right? He did a one-fight deal already with DAZN, Matchroom, and Matchroom CEO Eddie Hearn to fight Jesse Vargas on DAZN. So we know he could freely move around, right? So there's truly no reason why, because Mikey Garcia is now with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, and DAZN. So there's no reason why, when he was with PBC and Al Heyman solely, you can say, okay, well, there's a hurdles there, right? Even though there's truly no hurdles in that situation, but let's just say there's hurdles, right? You can understand that. But now what's the excuse? Okay, so should Terence Crawford defeat Manny Pacquiao, right, and the Errol Spence fight is not made immediately, then we should be expecting, why not get Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence? And Terence Crawford. See, he dared to be great and fight Errol Spence. Like I said, Errol Spence was in a lose-lose situation because if he didn't look great against Mikey Garcia, then everybody say he was exposed. He beat Mikey Garcia. This is Errol Spence I'm mentioning. He beats Mikey Garcia, and he did what he was supposed to do. So he don't get the just dues for fight Mikey Garcia and beat Mikey Garcia, right? Because people will tell you Mikey Garcia jumped up 2 weight classes from 135 to 147, and that's not the case at all. 3 of his last 4 fights was at 140, right? 3 of his last 5 fights or something was at 140. He even won a world title at 140. He fought the highest profile fight in the last 5 of his fights before Errol Spence was Adrian Broner, that was at 140. So he moved up 1 weight class from 140 to 147, junior welterweight to welterweight, right? But they to try to heighten his accomplishments, they say that he moved up 2 weight classes, and in doing so, indirectly, what you're doing is you're discrediting Errol Spence. You understand? So I said that Errol Spence is in a lose-lose situation because should he struggle with Mikey Garcia, they're gonna say he was exposed. If he knocked out Mikey Garcia, he was supposed to. You understand? He decisioned him. He don't have no power. That can't be the case with Terence Crawford. You see, because Terence Crawford, too, campaigned at lower weight classes. He campaigned at 130, 135, and 140. Mikey Garcia campaigned at 126, 130. He won a world title at 126, 130, 135, and 140. But you understand that that excuse doesn't exist when you're dealing with Terence Crawford. So the boxing world, boxing pundits, and boxing fans have been campaigning and wanting a fight between Mikey Garcia and Terence Crawford for quite some time. And it seems like every chance Mikey Garcia gets, he takes the opportunity to discredit Terence Crawford. So to act like Terence Crawford doesn't have a shot in the dark to beat Manny Pacquiao is false. And I actually think he's going to beat Manny Pacquiao, if you ask me. And I think that, and I know he would beat Mikey Garcia. See, Mikey Garcia is, considered a high-class boxer with a high ring generalship, high ring skills, very technical, right? But see, when you fight a guy like Terence Crawford, and, he opens up Pandora's box, so to speak, and show you that he wasn't what you thought. Like, and I'm going to give you an example. When Floyd Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez, you saw the difference in the level of boxing skill, and there's different classes. And if Mikey Garcia, you saw Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas, and he struggled against Jesse Vargas. I had Jesse Vargas clearly winning the first half of the fight. Now, could you imagine if that's Terence Crawford? You understand? And so with that said, if Mikey Garcia fights Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford beats Mikey Garcia clearly or stops him or whitewashes him, right? There's no excuse. His brand takes a serious step back. It takes a serious hit. He loses to Manny Pacquiao, its brand doesn't take a serious hit. He loses to Errol Spence, his brand doesn't take a serious hit. Because they're always going to, categorize it as him daring to be great. You understand? That's what that boils down to. But that's not the case when it comes to Terence Crawford. It's an equal playing field. And now your skills are on display. And now you're going to show us truly who you are. See? So to say that Terence Crawford doesn't have a chance and you think that Terence Crawford is going to, Manny Pacquiao is going to destroy him and possibly knock him out? No. And I would love to see, again, Mikey Garcia and Terence Crawford. But I personally believe that styles make fights. And the fact that Terence Crawford could switch from orthodox to southpaw, meaning, and a southpaw's kryptonite is the straight right hand. But Terence Crawford could give him a southpaw look, or he could give him the orthodox look, and utilize the right hand. He has a beautiful jab. He can fight on the inside. There's nowhere for Manny Pacquiao to go. Manny Pacquiao is not disciplined on defense. His offense is his defense. Terence Crawford is a higher risk for Manny Pacquiao, more so than Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather is not going to take big chances. Floyd Mayweather is not going to, he's going to be defensively responsible. He's going to be technical. He's not going to take too many risks. If the opening presents itself, he's going to think about taking it before he takes it. That's not the case with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is going to take those opportunities, even if he feel like Manny Pacquiao is in position to give him something in return, to deliver in return. Terence Crawford, the fact that Floyd Mayweather is not going to switch from orthodox to southpaw. He's not going to make you think like that. He's going to stay defensively responsible. He's going to stay technically sound. He's going to not make too many mistakes. He's going to jab you. He's looking to get a 12-round decision. That's not the case when you're dealing with Terence Crawford. So I believe that Terence Crawford is in a lose-lose situation with Manny Pacquiao. Because when Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, they're going to say, well, today was the day that Father Time caught up with Manny Pacquiao. That's what they're going to tell you. Today was the day finally Father Time caught up with Manny Pacquiao. Right? No, when Manny Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman and Adrian Broner, you said he turned back the clock. You said he looked like his old self. So that should be the case. If he lose, then you should give his opponent all his credit. And Terence Crawford won't get it. He won't get it. He has a lot on the at stake because he wins this fight with Manny Pacquiao. He becomes unified. He becomes WBA and WBO champion. So that fight that everybody wants to see, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, will now be for undisputed. And he's in position to put Errol Spence on notice and on the spot to have to make the fight immediately. He beats Manny Pacquiao. There's no reason for Errol Spence to have any more interim fights. Simple and plain. It's Terence Crawford next. After he beats Danny Garcia. No need to have any more interim fights. No need to look for any other opponents. Errol Spence's game plan was laid out that he wanted Danny Garcia, then Manny Pacquiao, then Terence Crawford. Well, if Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao face off against each other, that game plan goes out the window, and you absolutely have to look to the winner of that fight as your next fight because you can't let the opportunity slip away and have a hiccup. We're supposed to get Jamel Charlo and Jarrett Hurd. They both had hiccups. We're supposed to get Joshua and Wilder. They both had hiccups. You can't do it, repeat the same cycle a third time. Can't make that mistake a third time. So this fight has to come to fruition. And at that point in time, Errol Spence would absolutely have to take the fight with the winner of that fight, should they get this fight to the finish line and bring it to fruition. Errol Spence is then going to have to fight the winner of that fight because he was already looking to fight those two guys his next two fights anyway. So now he has to fight the winner of that fight, regardless of who it may be. See? So now you get Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, you're one step closer to getting Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford or Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. More so, everybody wants to see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So now you just gotten one step closer to getting that fight. You know, after Danny Garcia, you must get Errol Spence versus the winner of that fight. Period. There's no more excuses. Simple and plain. But I'm expecting Terence Crawford to win this fight, unlike Mikey Garcia. And then we're going to get that mega showdown for undisputed at welterweight. We're going to get a welterweight undisputed champ. Last time we saw that was Zab Judah. Can't wait. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.